top view. We're going to see how that is. In front of me, which I'll edit in, is this book from Michael Hampton about gesture drawing, dynamic movement and form. It looks like this. I just picked it up. It's kind of blown out. I just picked it up, and I really like Michael Hampton's drawing style for gestures. I am creating a children's book this year, both authoring it and illustrating it. Writing is new to me, but also to put together a children's book is new to me. Here I'm going to be practicing gesture drawing because for any picture book that we do, we are either creating people or we're creating animals or creating animals that have human-like nature, appendages, or emotions, expressions. So gesture drawing is a great practice to capture the essence of a character. The more that I practice this, I'll be able to pick up anatomy as well as being able to pose my characters in the way that I would like. I'm using Procreate, and I have a template that I've been using just as a picture. I've been practicing gesture drawing using this Michael Hampton method. We're gonna just go through a resource and draw a couple pictures, and this will end this particular video just so that we can get the workflow down both in editing, shooting, modifying the audio, and seeing the quality that I'm trying to go for so that I can capture this process moving forward. I'll start with this canvas. It's wider because I just want to be able to set up my photos that I'm pulling in. Michael Hampton gives this great website called bodiesinmotion.photo. There's several animated sequences that you can study and draw from. There is a timer. I'm not going through the timer. I'm just going to get the snapshot, and you can move in steps. So let's just say, we were to start at 1. We can jump every 5 frames, which is what I want to do. I want to do this photo, I'll do that photo, and I'll do that photo. So I'm just going to do 3. We're going to just do the 3 and then cut this particular video at this point, and then we'll be done. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is let me just grab a screenshot of this, and I'm just going to get that portion essentially. I'm going to do that 2 more times, go forward 5 frames, take a screenshot, and this will just allow me to import it into Procreate so that I can put it on my canvas and just reference it as I focus on the gesture. And 5 frames forward, take a screenshot on my iPad. Great. I'm going to go back to Procreate right here. And what we do is I like to set these up in groups so I can move things around. I'll first import an image by inserting a photo. Let's get this first photo. Actually, I can do all of them. So let me go ahead and do that. Insert a photo. I'll do this one at a time. So that way it'll create new layers. I'll insert the last photo. Okay, so I have these 3 photos. I'm going to focus on the first one. So let me turn those off. I will create a new layer. Go to black. You can choose any pencil. I've been finding out I'm creating a children's book, right? So I'm starting to get my favorite brushes. But if you go to the default brushes here in Procreate, there should be pencils. Where's my pencils? Should be next to inks, pastels, oils, pencils. You'll see these. Swansea is what I use usually. Huntsman, any of these. So I go in here, I made a copy and I put it in my children's book kind of bucket or folder. So I'm going to use this. Okay, so the way that we see Michael Hampton drawing these is he creates these in essentially 8 lines. The main portions he captures is the head as one. He'll draw the cervical or the neck as number 2. He'll draw the thoracic right here for the spine, which is 3. He'll draw the lumbar, which connects to the pelvis, which is 4. Then he'll draw the legs, which is 5 and 6. Then he will draw the arms, which is 7 and 8. Accompanying with that, he'll draw what's called wrapping lines just to get the form. So you can see here on the chest, you'll see the wrapping lines on the legs usually. You'll see the wrapping lines maybe across the back. And also just to get the form of the arm, he'll draw wrapping lines. So I'm just going to copy that. He'll draw some additional lines just to get the angle of the face. But right now, what we'll do is let's try this person out. Draw a circle. Whoa, that was crazy. So sometimes that will happen. New layer, draw a circle. Thinking about the head. And this is fairly flat. Hampton likes to talk about the dynamics of stacking, these lines through like S curve, I, and a C. So right now this is essentially like a C curve. This will be, so this is the, what was this again? Cervical, thoracic, and then we'll get lumbar. I mean, essentially that's the contour of this person. But sometimes what you'll want to do is, well, let me just go through this because then I'm going to just draw this line just so I can see this angle. This is fairly flat for the shoulders. And so then he'll draw the leg first that has the weight. And we can see here the weight is on his left leg, visually to our right. So he'll draw this. And one of the things that he likes to do is if this was to be divided in half, then this leg essentially would end up right here. So designation for the knee. I still haven't got this like pretty right. I think, this can be a little longer. Drawing the back of the calf, setting this flat line. For the bottom of the foot, getting in front here and getting this triangle for the top of the foot. Then what he likes to do is look at this center point, okay? Is this center point, this will allow the weight to see where the weight is bearing. Usually it lines up right here. And you can see that I'm a little off compared to that. So we can make adjustments as we go along. So maybe, we can always pencil this in darker. And it's kind of hard to see at this point, but what we'll do is we'll go with darker lines after. The next thing that we do is, it's not necessarily drawing the contours. We're just capturing the essence. So let me get this portion. And I can see that there's kind of like this angle here where this should be. Getting, sorry, all these notifications from my family. This leg is a little bit off the ground. And we can see here there's some sort of You know, this is flat, this is the toes. And we can draw in some of these lines right now. So like, well, I think that these lines wrap like this. And I always see that he's drawing like this shoulder blade as a way to gauge where this line should be. We see that uh, I'll learn what he calls these, and he'll call out the bone or the and there's some foreshortening here, so we'll see that we just kind of wrap the hand just as a indication. We see that this shoulder out here is a little higher and this kind of rounded. And then this top of the bicep, and there's some foreshortening as well here. And this hand will go off into space. And we can see that's a little lower, but and I'm just going to draw this indication. So we'll go in and draw some supporting wrapping lines that will get the thigh. This will get this top portion. We'll see this kind of wraps here. Maybe that, I'll draw this indication of here. I do want to see that these are, having some interest in terms of the angles. And we'll have some wrapping lines for this arm. And we know that this is going into, foreshortened. This has some wrapping as well. And this is kind of foreshortened with, can have that indication that's going further out and make this a little smaller. So like I said, this has more weight on here. We can see that there's a sweeping line back here. But I would say that that's done. This, sometimes he'll make indications of, the eyes, so we can kind of see that it's tilted up. But frankly, that this head should be a little bit more over, but I would just call that done. We're going to end this video here. So I'm going to close out all of the recordings. I have this recording at the top here, recording from this screen, and then also recording from Zoom just to see how this will all get pieced together. Thanks for joining. I'm Ryan from Made You Look. See you next time.